And then what happened after the war?
He escaped to South America.
He escaped to South America. Do you know any? You know why he got to South America?
Friends.
Because South America had an environment where they were actually very Nazi friendly.
Parts of South America.
Parts of South America, right? I believe Argentina signed a thing that they were part of the Nazi. They were fine with the Nazis. And they had I think it was Juan Perón, who was the leader of Argentina at the time, and he was a big fan of Hitler. So they were like, yeah, they welcomed in all the Nazis, and a lot of them went down to Argentina. That's where Eichmann was found, was down there, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's what Mengele did. He went down there, and what did he do? Did he go into hiding? Do you know the history on him?
No, you go ahead and tell us.
Okay, so he went down there. And one of the things he did was he bought a 50% share of a company called, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think it's Fedro Farm, and it was an Argentina pharmaceutical company, and that was in 1955. And the same year divorced his wife. And one question I would ask the viewers is, why would he buy a pharmaceutical company, right? And is it possible that he wanted to continue doing his research? One of the things he was really involved with in his research, he was very interested in cloning, which wasn't really established yet. Today, like, cloning is like more common. You know about cloning, right?
Yeah.
But back then, he was really interested in cloning, and he was working on research on establishing, moving forward with the idea of cloning. He also brought slides with blood on them so he can continue his research. So when he left Germany, he had slides with blood on them. Mm-hmm. So what's the connection with that? So I'm popping these questions out to the viewers. Go ahead and email us what you think he was trying to do. Was he possibly more important in the Nazi Party than we think he was? What was his influence in that? And also, has anyone ever heard that Joseph Mengele, as well as Hitler, were intrigued by the following verse in the Torah in Exodus 25? That it says, "Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them or serve them, for I, God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children until the third and fourth generation of them." Right? So what does all that have to do with, why is Mengele so intrigued by that? Why did he have the blood on the slides? Why? Whose blood was that? What was he trying to do? Why the pharmaceutical company? Where is all that leading to? Okay? So these are the kind of things that might be interesting to people to discuss, and these are the kind of things we're going to throw out there. And if people have information or they have insights into this, please email us and we'll talk about it further in following weeks.
And I believe there was a novel written, at least one novel about Joseph Mengele, and it was pretty famous. So Mengele is a big feature in popular culture. The book was published in 1978 called The Boys from Brazil, and it was made into a science fiction thriller film in 1978, which was a year before just Mengele died. So Boys from Brazil, directed by Franklin J. Schaffner.
Did you see that movie?
No, but I've heard about it. Boys from Brazil meant to transmit a secret to supporters of the Nazi movement worldwide by putting the secret out in book form, and then later on the big screen and in plain sight. What was that secret? Did it have to do with the dried blood on glass slides brought from Germany to South America by Joseph Mengele and his secret research into cloning?
Yeah, it's like, what was it like? It's intriguing. Like, what was he up to? So there's that. So if people want to, learn more about that or send us emails on their thoughts on that, please do. We'll talk about it more in later in later shows.
And then there's a Jewish belief about resurrection. That how does resurrection come about? That they're able to take some DNA from the neck and reconstruct the whole person.
Oh, you're talking about the lose bone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says that the Torah tells us that I believe in the resurrection of the dead. I'm not real good on these topics, but I believe the resurrection of the dead is that, when a person decomposes, all that's left is the skeleton, right? It's the bones. So how are they going to create the entire body? So I believe it's the lose bone, which is like a neck bone. It's one part of the neck. From there comes the whole body, and you can reconstruct the person during the resurrection of the dead. So, it's brought down or something that Mengele had a fascination with the lose bone, like if you could reconstruct everything. So the theory, I guess what we're alluding to is if you clone DNA from the neck, you could reconstruct that person's entire body, right? Now, in the movie Boys from Brazil, the idea was that he was reconstructing little Hitlers, if you will, and he got Hitler's DNA, and he put it in the womb of, the blood was from Hitler, whatever, and he put it in the womb of several different women in different places of the world, and their kids all looked the same, right? Like everywhere that you'd go, the same kid would show up.
It's like those cats that had the Hitler mustache.
Yes. Yes. There's that. So okay, you got any other words on that?
No.
Okay, so this week we talked about Joseph Mengele, and send us your emails. Maybe you want us to talk about somebody else next week, or you have further thoughts on Joseph Mengele. It's called the Ravs and Levi Review. Right? It's a new segment. All right, we have 4 guests who won't sign in, so go ahead and sign in, folks. Too little is known about Mr. 999. Oh, that must be talking about Herman Cain. Oh, don't worry. If he gets the nomination, we're going to learn a lot more about him, I'm sure, because the Obama people are going to just, try to trash him to death. Okay.
Parshah now?
Yeah, I think we should talk about the Parshah. Are we good? You got anything else?
No.
All right, so let's talk about the Parshah.
This week's Torah portion is Parshah VIII HaBerachah.
Stop.
Yeah?
VIII HaBerachah. We talked about this.
I use the Sephardic pronunciation.
But you don't have any Sephardi connection.
That's how I learned Hebrew.
From who?
From my Rav.
Your Rav speaks that way.
Avadia Yosef.
Your Rav is Avadia Yosef. Okay, I didn't know you were Sephardi. Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so it's Deuteronomy chapter 33 to the end of Deuteronomy 34. It's the end of the book of Deuteronomy, Devarim.
Okay.
Okay, so I was reading this essay about the 12 steps and the weekly Torah portion on the Chabad.org website.
Okay.
It says the reason the Torah ends as it does, by alluding to the breaking of the tablets of the covenant, the same reason that we start over again once we finish with the Torah, reading it out loud. Both ideas are rooted in the same principle. We never just finish up and move on. Just when we think we've reached the end, when we get to the very last line, the very last portion of the Torah, we're reminded the tablets of the covenant were once destroyed and had to be remade. So it is with our spiritual journey. There is never a completion, only the reminder that we always start again. So I've often thought in my life, now I've made a brand new beginning. I'm not going to be troubled by the problems that have haunted me until now. So when I was 11 years old, I moved to the United States, and I thought, great, now I'm going to be popular. Now I'm not going to be a loser anymore. I've moved to a new country, new school, everything's going to be great. And then I'd leave that school and move to another school and think, okay, now everyone doesn't know I'm a loser, everything's going to be great. Or once I finish my conversion to Judaism, then everything's going to be great. Or once I'm able to recover my health somewhat, then everything's going to be great. And so we keep thinking, if we only accomplish a certain task or something happens to us, then everything's going to be great. But you're still going to have all this. You're going to have a lot of the same problems because many of your problems reside in yourself and in the way you think and the way you react to stimuli and the way that you interact with people. So there's never like a graduation where your life is just completely transformed. Transformation happens very slowly. And even then, you'll always keep facing challenges. Okay, so as newcomers looking at the 12 steps for the first time, Many of us wondered what we were supposed to do once we'd completed the 12 steps. The answer is that our recovery